kids caught up in human trafficking. It is heartbreaking to hear that a lot of our kids, underage kids, are caught up in human trafficking. It is heartbreaking, especially when those kids are coming from areas that are just trying to rebuild after long years of war. And now our kids are being trafficked to the Middle East to become slaves once again. It's heartbreaking. This is something that not you or me can be proud of hearing or talking about it. But we have to talk about it if we want it to stop. Recently, 96 Ugandans, girls, have been intercepted in Kenya en route to United Arab Emirates. Believe me, brothers and sisters, in the name of development, we are back to slave trade. The girls that were intercepted at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport in Nairobi were about to board a flight to Emirates. The girls are all from Napak district in Karamoja sub-region in northern Uganda. As if we have not suffered a lot from a war that lasted for many years. Now, we have our kids between 14 and 18 years being trafficked to Arab world to be treated like domestic slaves. We know that there are a lot of people out there who love to see us and our children begging on the streets. There are people out there who love to see our kids and ourselves to continue suffering until we go to our grave. It is heartbreaking. The government is not doing enough. The elected member of parliaments in that region are not doing enough to stop what is going on. We had been talking about trafficking, and now it includes underage kids from 14 to 18 years old. And when it happens, like the girls who were intercepted in Kenya, you just hand them to the district commissioner or to the government, and you hear nothing about it. The government does nothing about it. Maybe Those who don't want to do something about it are also involved in that project. A project to get rid of certain type of people by sending them out of the country. Either to serve as security guards, domestic workers, simply in the name of earning money, earning foreign currency. An organization or a company being run by very powerful people in the country we lived in today. But please, for God's sake, don't include underage kids in your project. Don't include underage kids from 14 to 18 years. Why are we throwing away our young generation? Why are we throwing away our young generation? When those girls reach those Arab countries, they become slaves. They become sex slaves. They become domestic slaves. They become anything. Anything they do with any slave. We thought we have already eliminated slave trade a long time ago, but that is not true. We have reactivated slave trade through human trafficking. Kids are being trafficked. Kids, underage kids from 14 years to 18 are at risk. We are throwing away the future of our young generation. It is our duty as a state to protect and provide our children, not to send them to other countries to be abused. We all know that the moment you are in one of those Arab countries, you are going to be abused. You'll be lucky if you come back alive. Recently, we have seen a lot of girls crying to be saved from slave owners in the Middle East. And here still, we arrest or intercept girls who are being trafficked to the Middle East, and we are doing nothing about it. It's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. How long are we going to allow our children to be abused in foreign countries? We have more than 140,000 Ugandan girls working as domestic workers in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, Oman, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar, among other countries. We know that a lot of security guards working in Iraq. Don't get me wrong. I'm not against people going out to do dirty job abroad. I'm not against. But they should not be forced victims of trafficking. They should not be underage girls whom we know. Those are our kids. Those are our future. We have to keep those underage kids home. We have to give them whatever help necessary so that they build their own life. And later, when we are not there, they will lead that country we call Uganda. We should not throw them away to be mistreated. We know that a lot of these girls who are sent to work in Arab countries, a lot of those kids escaped. They came back. They told their stories. We should have taken their stories seriously and stopped this type of trafficking. But instead, we turn a blind eye to the victims of human trafficking in Uganda. The girls are being exploited, abused in the hands of those people, so-called employers, who in fact are slave owners. They're not employers. They want those girls because they know they can sexually abuse them. They can keep them as their slaves. And those girls have nowhere to go. The moment you get there to a place supposed to be your working place, you'll have nowhere to go. You'll have nowhere to run. You'll have nowhere to run. You are at the mercy of that person who is holding your passport, who is keeping you in his house. We all know that those Arab countries serve as a human trafficking hubs for recruiting and selling migrants to families that illegally transport them to the next country, to the next destination. Most of those companies involved in human trafficking are companies which are lunches by the government. When you look around Africa, those jobs are being advertised everywhere. Please, don't tell me that the government does not see the advertisement, that the government does not know what is happening in that country. They know very well. They know very well. Let me tell you a story. The Minister of Ethics is coming from Karamoja. And he's also a man of God. So here you have a man of God who is not performing the job he should have been doing as a man of God and a minister of ethics. If people are so free to go to Karamoja, recruit those underage girls and smuggle them up to Kenya, ready to be transported to the Middle East to satisfy someone else's ego in the Middle East, and you, as the Minister of Ethics and the man of God from Karamoja, you don't even know what is happening in your own district. You know, Mr. Minister, maybe it's time you step down and don't even lie to us, because you're a man of God. You should have respected that title of yours you're carrying for God. You're supposed to be sending souls to heaven, not destroying them. So wake up, do something about it. Make sure that kids, underage children, don't become victims of those human traffickers. Let's make sure we don't use our kids for political bargain or favor. It does not make sense. It does not make sense. The local leaders in Karamoja and the entire Uganda, and northern Uganda in particular, should be ashamed of what is happening. What about if this was happening to your daughter? What then if it was happening to my daughter? Would I still be calling myself Minister of Ethics? Give me a break. Trafficking should not be happening in northern Uganda at all. After so many years of war, painful abuses, we cannot allow our underage kids to go through another humiliation again. We were humiliated during the war. We were tortured. And we cannot allow underage kids to peddle through psychological trauma once again after coming back from the Middle East, after coming back from slavery. We cannot allow that to happen. And you, as leaders, should not really allow that to happen, because when the time comes, you will be judged according to your action. You will be questioned according to your belief. If you play political games with the life of all people, you'll be answerable. We cannot allow underage kids to be misused or trafficked abroad. It is happening now. Wake up. Let's stop it. Let's say no. We don't want to be humiliated again and again and again. And in that process of humiliation, we still go and vote those people who call themselves leaders back into power. How stupid are we? How stupid are we? We have to stop abusing our own children by allowing them to escape or taken abroad, taken to the Arab world, where they're being treated as slaves, sex slaves, domestic slaves. You have no right. You have nowhere to go. You have nowhere to run. Even if you earn that money and you come back with that money to Uganda, you have already sold your soul to the devil. You have already sold your dignity to a devil. You will not enjoy that money you are going to earn in the Middle East as a slave. Let me be clear. We cannot allow a modern day slavery to go unpunished. It is not acceptable in any form. It is not. We are going to keep records of what is happening today, tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. Whether we are here or not, somebody will pick up from where we are going to leave it. And those who were at power at that time, when bad things were happening to underage kids, to our people, will be held responsible. Believe me, I promise. And thanks for listening. I will be back.